Alright, so today, very simple video, but still a very useful one, because we're gonna cover how to make the French crouton. What is a crouton? It's basically a piece of bread that you fry in oil, and it's served with salads and soups and a lot of other things. But even though they are very simple, I'm sure a lot of people don't exactly know how do you actually make, again, a French crouton. So as you can see here, very simple things. I've got my board, my knife, and most important, the piece of bread. Now let me tell you that the bread is really, really important. Even when you make croutons, it's very important. Do not go and buy that kind of cheap industrial loaf of bread, like all this kind of white bread with no crust and anything like that. You want to buy something from the bakery. This is a nice country loaf, but it's got a lot of the white part in it. I don't know how you call it in English, or the dough, anything like that. And this is what we're going to be using for the crouton. So let's do it. First thing, you take your bread, and we're just going to make not the whole bread, but you're going to first slice a piece that you want. So let's take, we're gonna take, for instance, that much. That should be enough to make some. So a lot of people think, you're just gonna start cutting with everything in the crust, etc. You can, but when you eat those, it will become very, very hard, and what you want is a good experience, and it's a good culinary experience. So what you do, you have to trim off everything, meaning all the hard bits. This is very hard. You don't want to eat this for a crouton, okay? Remember, everything has to be delicate. Everything has to be very enjoyable when it's in your mouth, on your palate. And you don't want to have massive chewing effort to do. So you get rid of anything that's kind of, a bit hard. And you're left with just that nice kind of block of white, okay? White of the bread. So from here, basically, you're gonna start to slice again. The size varies, it's up to you, and there's no, you can make small croutons, big croutons, I'm making as a rough guide to show you how it's done. So then you have your slices, okay, like that. And from here, again, you're gonna start to decide, okay, how big my croutons are gonna be, okay? So I like to make reasonably small croutons. I don't go for the massive, I'm gonna reserve them on the side. So basically you take a piece of bread, make sure it's straight, and keep on cutting and detailing your croutons. So just finish that. And you got the idea. And after that, we're gonna cook them. All right, so on the stove, first of all, you have to use a metal pan and try to avoid the non-stick, because usually you have to put it at a really, really high temperature. And the metal pan like this, they really get to temperature very, very fast. So first thing, you're gonna put high heat on your pan, and you're gonna be using sunflower oil. A lot of people are tempted to use olive oil, but olive oil burns when it reaches a certain temperature. So always try to use sunflower, or even like grapeseed oil, even better. It goes to this really nice high temperature. Now this is my product, right? Sorry, but the camera angles today, I've got a bit of a problem with my tripod. Yeah, so this is the product. As you can see, it's reasonably kind of squarish. And there we go. So the first thing you do, once you put your oil, you're gonna wait until your oil is really sizzling hot. All right, so how do you know if your oil is already really hot? You take a little piece of crumb, a little piece of bread, throw it in. Now, this is what you want to see. Immediately it starts frying. So you take your bread, and immediately you take everything. Now don't pour everything, because there's little bits that you don't want in there. Try to keep the mix to just the squares of bread. Now, you can use a spatula, and the very simple thing you're going to be doing, you're simply frying bread. That's all it is. You know, it may sound a bit dumb for some people and a bit simple, but you'll be surprised that a lot of people actually love to eat croutons but don't know how to make them. One advice, when you start cooking the croutons, keep the fire at a high temperature and refrain from constantly moving your bread everywhere, because you want to get them colored. They want to get nice and brown on one side, and then you kind of turn them. Okay, so after a few minutes, basically you can check one of the croutons, you can turn it around, and as you can see there's a bit of coloration there. And that's about it. You don't want to, so you're going to shake your pan, and a simple movement like that, you're going to just steer them around, and again leave them in the pan. Don't worry if they're not all on the right side. You can, if you want, go with your spatula and turn them around, making sure every single one of them is turned to the other side. All right, another minute or so, give it another little shake. You don't want to burn them, and that's it. You turn your heat off, because you can be a little bit brown, it can go fast, but this is roughly what you want to get. Okay, so you got different little colors, some of them are whiter than this, but you want to keep that white because you want the crouton to be nice and soft when you eat it. And you're not cremating bread, you know, it's just toasted, and you want to keep an aspect of bread inside. What I'm doing next, I'm just pouring everything in a clean container with paper towels in it, so all the excess of oils, for the one that are concerned about the amount of fat in there, is going to be absorbed in there. So I'm going to leave it there for a minute or two, and then reserve it in a nice little bowl. And here are the croutons. I took the camera in my hand, try to show you, and I put some salad, because salad is the quintessential ingredient that you use with croutons. So you had a lovely, nice green salad, butter lettuce, some kale, and some gem lettuce, and you got this nicely cooked and very soft and very oily croutons. That's what we love about it, is all in the oil. Anyway, that's it for today. Please do make your own croutons, as they are very delicious. I hope you enjoyed this lovely croutons video, and I see you next time. Bye bye.